Hmm?
Constable John Matthias.
Interrex John Matthias. He's regent.
Hard to believe. He's a general, not a politician.
Ah. Diddle yourself, pauper.
Renounce magic, I tell you! Shatter your towers and crystals!
What are you...
Just curious to see what you were doing. I'll be going now.
Go, go! And don't come back!
I remember you from planet.
Burn your hats! Turn away the black cat!
It's a brazen...
Send them, you idiot!
The audacity!
Pull yourself together!
Likewise, the frog.
This would never happen if the conclave still exists.
靠北被看到就被追杀了，什么鬼啊？不想再次跋涉。
Where is Philippa? She should reason with this brat. She should pull down his pants and give him a thrashing in front of all those knights.
I'm afraid she's lost that option.
It's a brazen attack. King Radovid will learn of this.
Radovid, send them, you idiot!
I don't
The
want
audacity!
anything to do with you.
Pull yourself together!
What?
Renounce magic, I tell you! Shatter your towers and... barbarian.
This would never happen if the Conclave still...
And if Grandma had a moustache,
No
she'd
more.
be a catfish.
It's not too late.
We must put her repent.
Welcome.
Oh， 干，超贵的，妈的！干，不要跟我说这是下水道了。
Oh, it's a lovely day today.
Welcome.
准备好了。我靠，好近啊！很迷宫啊。
We've broken through in the right spot.
Quiet.
Stand ready. He killed Vanamar.
And many other mages. I know who he is, Cynthia.
In the same city as Philippa, and you didn't even bother to change your name. That takes balls.
Philippa's out of the picture. She's been arrested.
And I was supposed to die, but I didn't. Grave error.
I'll make you a deal.
You don't get it. You turned Triss into a cold stone. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why I shouldn't turn you into a cold corpse.
She is alive and well. We decompressed her successfully. There were no complications.
And the interrogation after she was decompressed? Because you did interrogate her.
I personally supervised it. We presented the tools, gave her a few bruises, and that sufficed to get her to talk.
攻击他。
Tools? A few bruises? You really don't want to leave this crypt alive.
If we're to die, we'll do so proudly, serving the Emperor. But I think that unlikely. Contrary to what they say, you're no murderer. Triss told me so.
Got anything else to tell me?
Just one thing. I've supervised dozens of interrogations. All subjects talk sooner or later. That's an old truth. Though some resist longer than others. Triss Merigold did not resist at all. She grew pale at the mere sight of the saws, hooks, and needles. She was prepared to talk before the interrogation began.
What did she tell you?
I will not betray the Emperor.
I'm no good at interrogating others. Tell me, or I'll cut your hands off.
The Lodge of Sorceresses. We know its members. Margarita Loantil, Francesca Findabert, Fringilla Vigo.
Skip it. I'm not interested.
The assassinations of the kings. Philippa and Sheila de Tansarville commissioned them.
What else?
I don't know anymore. The subject needed to recover after the first session.
How can I get into the Nilfgaardian camp?
There's one entrance. Beyond it, a long, heavily guarded corridor. You can't hope to sneak in. Renwald Matson chose the spot specifically to avoid being surprised.
Where are you holding Triss?
At the back of the camp, beneath a ruined building.
You're gonna help me free her.
Not likely. You're better off killing me now. You've no idea what the Emperor's intelligence apparatus does to turncoats.
Why are you here?
We suspect Der Henner's laboratory may contain documents and books that could be useful to the Imperial Academy of Science.
That wasn't even close to funny. You're lying.
We don't know what's inside. Der Henner was a talented man, but also an eccentric.
What do you hope to find?
That's confidential. I cannot tell you. Regardless, we need your help. The laboratory lies beneath the Redanian camp, which we cannot penetrate above ground. We want to get there through the sewers, but can't manage it without a capable swordsman.
Any deals we make will not be on your terms.
Hear me out.
So be it.
Witcher, help me complete my mission. Help me open Der Henner's laboratory.
What'll you give me?
I've read the intelligence reports. I know your past. There are things in there, important things you don't remember.
I could force you to tell me.
I don't think so. Will you torture me? We both know you couldn't.
We'll come back to that. About that offer. We'll come back to that. Why are...
We suspect...
That what...
We don't...
What do you hope to...
That's confidential. We want to...
靠北这种无限循环啊。
About that offer. Fine. I'll help you open the laboratory.
In exchange, I'll tell you all I can. Do we have a deal?
Yeah. One more thing.
We made a deal.
I'm even faster with my sword. No tricks.
Are we likely to encounter drowners? Or a related species? Perhaps other monsters?
That is how this world's built. Sewers are infested with monsters.
这里超像棺材的。这是棺材吗？
If there's a fight, protect the scholars. We can take care of ourselves.
We must return one day to explore the entire tower. Mages' crypts customarily have multiple
Instead of summoning some men-at-arms and simply hacking her way into the laboratory, Cynthia's
If
playing
only we
games.
could produce even basic sketches of those tombs. Damn shame.
Ghouls? No, just rot fumes.
Be sure.
That was the first time I saw a witcher in action.
谁的？嗯？他在哪里？
no rats are running around sewers. What we looking for, anyway? Some graves, I heard.
Graves? So maybe there is something in this for us.
Shut your traps. Want the sergeant to hear? We've been deep shite.
We've got company.
Redanian bastards.
The entrance must be somewhere here.
If our experts are to be trusted.
Der Henner dabbled in illusions, among other things.
He also experimented heavily with golems.
Golems with the power of speech, supposedly. They knew nothing of poetry, but...
Will you two shut up?
Yes, it's an illusion. I found a weak spot. Stand back. Later Elorn, Lisa Elorn, later dear! It's reacting to my spell.
At times I'm caught. You can get my kind of feat. Though I have no needles, they say I am piercing. What am I?
Careful with the answer. It could be a trap.
Typical of dear Henner. He was a genius with a penchant for mischievous jokes, like a child.
So a couple of adults, purported experts, should have no problem solving this.
Indeed, it's trivial. The answer is pain.
Incorrect.
No! Impossible! So many years of research together. Why did we ever embark on this? Imagine the books, the potions.
Let's get this over with quickly.
We must go on.
Friend,
好悲哦。
imagine the books, the...
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my test.
What do you think? Just keep it serious this time. We don't need another corpse.
I think it's a feather. Lifted high into the air by the wind, it can appear to fly.
I was a mistress of riddles at the age of 10, but I've never heard of feather money or of fluff being a test of anything. The sun might work.
It appears to fly, can be punishing. It's minted on Nilfgaardian florins, and surviving it in the Korath Desert is a man's ultimate test. Fits nicely. But what if it's death? A metaphor for death.
Master Farid reveals his poetic soul. Touching. Too bad all the solutions are unlikely.
What do you suggest? Time? The Redanian eagle? A toothless vampire? Perhaps the Witcher has a better idea.
Can you please repeat the riddle?
I'm seen to fly, described as hard. I can be your currency and heal all wounds, but not many things can stand my
但没有
test.
东西可以承受考验。这真的要乱猜？破壁。老一只香口。
Time.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's going rather well so far.
靠，
Not for everybody.
现在是大逃杀。直接。 一个成员。
Someone's been here recently.
I wager we have a few more of Der Henna's surprises for unwanted visitors ahead.
Well, well, the competition's here. Kill them!
靠北打开直接变陷阱。
Lisa and Lorne later, dear. It's reacting to my spell.
A group of travelers wandering through the dark. 3 guides above them, so 3 were marked. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold.
Did I hear someone complain about the riddles being too easy?
Let's think this through. There are 9 alcoves, a fresco in each. That's 3 groups of 3 frescoes.
The riddle mentions 3 guides above the travelers. We must examine the frescoes, seek answers there.
I'll advise you about the riddle, but I will not take part in disarming the device. I've got a bad feeling about this.
什么压力板啊？哦，他说什么？
Too bad about Gaspar.
干上面有个眼睛，超恶心。一群旅人游荡在黑暗中，3个指引，寻找蛇形的龙，银色光着少女。蛇形龙，银色少女，山中保护。银色少女是这个吗？ 现在是网络这个。
We cannot hope to finish the research alone.
A group of travelers wandering through the dark. 3 guides above them, so 3 were marked. At night, they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold.
What do you think of the first verse?
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing its own tail, which represents infinity and thus time. The hourglass likewise symbolizes time. In this case, the time of the traveler's journey.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy invariably portray dragons as winged, and as an accomplished alchemist, Gehenna would also be a competent astrologer. The verse must refer to the constellation.
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter, an essential component in the process of alchemical transformation. The verse seems to indicate the allegory illustrating that transformation.
Can someone remind me how the line...
The first verse was, "At night they trailed a drake serpentine."
What do you think of the first verse?
I would say it describes a serpentine dragon swallowing its own tail, which represents infinity and thus time. The hourglass likewise symbolizes time. In this case, the time of the traveler's journey.
I believe it's the dragon constellation. It would be visible at night. What's more, sources on alchemy invariably portray dragons as winged, and as an accomplished alchemist, Gehenna would also be a competent astrologer. The verse must refer to the constellation.
In alchemy, the winged serpentine dragon represents prime matter, an
Everything seems to suggest the allegory of alchemical transformation.
I shall take that one.
What do you think of the second verse?
To my mind, it speaks of the white rose, symbol of the Order of the Flaming Rose. You see, the fresco itself resembles a coat of arms, and in heraldry, silver is rendered as white. So the Silver Lady and White Rose are one and the same.
I think it describes the full moon. In alchemy, the moon represents both silver as a metal and the feminine element.
The order remains largely unknown in the south, so the White Rose seems unlikely. Every Nilfgaardian, on the other hand, has heard of the Imperial Nausicaa Brigade, which has the Death's Head as its symbol. The brigade's name is female, and they say death follows the unit. So the Silver Lady could very well be Nausicaa or the Death's Head.
Can someone
As I recall, the second verse was, "A silver lady
I think it's the full moon.
Allow me."
What do you say to the third verse?
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains. An ancient rule in alchemy states, "As above, so below." The vault is the ravine into which the riches of the mountain flow.
We must read the third line literally. To me, it suggests the Mahakam Mountains and its mines, from which dwarves and gnomes extract many ores that are invaluable to alchemists. Those mountains are a vault in and of themselves.
The verse is not literal. In many legends, towers are in fact vaults, which the hero must penetrate in order to rescue an imprisoned princess or find a long-concealed magic item. The mountain vault is the tower.
What do you say to...
It describes the precipice, the ravine.
We must read the third line literally.
The verse...
Can someone...
The third fragment mentioned a mountain vault containing untold riches which guided the travelers by day.
Can someone...
The third fragment mentioned a mountain...
What do you say?
It describes the precipice, the ravine amidst mountains.
We must read the third line literally. To me...
The verse is not literal. In many legends...
The verse... I'll stand next to that fresco. Let's see if we can solve this. Take your places.
Count me out. I want to live.
As you will. Try another combination.
A group of travelers wandering through the dark, 3 guides above them. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mount.
I shall...
Allow.
It's got... I'll stand. Let's see. Take your...
Count me out.
We must try another combination.
At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady.
Everything.
I shall...
Allow.
I'll stand. Let's take your...
Count me out.
As you will. We must try another combination.
Take that.
Too bad about Gaspar.
所以我选是对的嘛？ 这是啥小？落幕灭的秘密。龙星座满月那山脉。
A group of...
It should...
I shall take that.
Allow me.
The mine entrance in the mountainside. That seems logical. I'll stand next to that fresco. Let's take your...
Count me. As you will. We must try another combination. I expected a greater challenge. Thus far, we've had but riddles fit for beer enthusiasts.
啊，这是会对的，这是会对的。
A group of...
I shall.
Allow.
I'll stand. Let's take it.
Count me.
As you...
Intruder detected.
No!
靠北答对也被答对也要被杀。
Our expedition has grown thin. Such a shame. I actually found those two amusing.
Shut up.
Of course, my lady. I expected a greater challenge. Thus far, we've had but riddles fit for beer enthusiasts.
A golem. So Darehenna's legend is true.
It is no more than an obedient machine created to follow orders and kill. Not unlike our Witcher.
So I guess we should get along famously.
You? What do you know about golems?
I don't run into them in every forest, but any good bestiary describes golems at length, and I've read more than my share of those.
Geralt, I'm not questioning your knowledge, but I should be the one to...
Actually, you are questioning my knowledge. Listen, I know what I'm doing. I'll try to get it to reveal the word that'll deactivate it, or I'll just mess with its head. Break the code.
So now we've got a burglar in our midst. Be my guest. Try.
My intentions are good.
As are mine. Know, however, that this may change.
Darehenna must have been pretty lonely if he gave you eloquence.
The Master made me a guardian. Nothing less, nothing more. And you, provided you stand there, are a guest.
So you're aware you're an automaton?
Do we really know who we are, where we came from, and where we are headed? Is human life predictable in that the cycle of birth and death ensnares it? Better than mine. When a human is born, he is obedient to his parents. Later, he listens to tutors, masters, corporals. Finally, he succumbs to the will of death.
And to think that Adalbert questioned Darehenna's mastery. I have other questions. Do you remember your creator?
Of course. I was summoned into being by Master Darehenna. I abide by his will, by his power, by the necessity encased in my stone bowels.
Darehenna is dead.
His word, which animates me, lives on, as does his legacy, which I protect. Empires will rise and fall, rivers will shift their courses, but I will remain obedient to one master on my eternal watch.
I have other questions. Did your creator give you a name?
I'm called obedience and unyielding persistence. I am a guardian and the humblest of servants.
A golem's name is the word that gave it life, and that can take it away. You must have a name.
I own nothing. Everything belongs to my master. How could I divulge the name if I exist solely to protect my creator's property?
Powerful magic created you. Darehenna was a true master.
He is still, since his mastery survives.
I have other... So you...
Do we is when a...
And to think that Who, if anyone, is allowed to pass?
Henna, but he is dead. Also guests may pass, but I stop intruders.
Tell me more. Who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Is it not obvious? A guest keeps his distance, or knows the name word. An intruder is anyone who enters too far, attacks me, or otherwise interferes with my being.
Has anyone tried to enter before?
I recall no intruders. I do, however, remember guests who left after being warned.
When was that? What did you discuss?
I am a machine. My memory is limited.
You're far more self-aware than a typical golem. Can you make sovereign decisions?
The Master made me the way I am, because long discussions were to his liking. I can make decisions, within my program, of course.
So you decide who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Who else would? Guests chat innocuously, exerting no pressure. All others are intruders.
Well, 不能施加压力哦。
I have other questions. Do you...
Of course, I...
Henna is...
His word, Empire...
Henna must have been an exceptional man. Can you tell me about him?
I guard everything that belonged to the Master, including his privacy, which he valued highly. I can tell you nothing.
Can I ask you for the name word which brought you to life and which can deactivate you?
Do that, and I shall consider you an intruder.
I have powerful magic. As a conscious being, you must be lonely here.
You are wrong. The pain of the world, melancholy, lies within the domain of emotions and feelings. My thoughts are governed by pure logic, restricted by my program.
But you can learn. They say that a penchant for philosophy can only come from curiosity.
In my case, it comes from the will of the Master, who liked to speak with me.
And do you feel a need to discuss?
I feel nothing. I just have that need.
Can we discuss the program that controls your behavior?
Of course not.
I have other questions. Do you...
Of course. I abide...
Henna...
His word... Empire...
You're not an automaton. You're self-aware, and you think. You can make decisions.
You're wrong. I am eloquent, and can discern between guests and intruders. I can also deal with the latter. But everything I say and do is limited by my restrictive program. By the way, as an automaton, I am immune to all charms. Stop the intruders.
Let's have a look. This is better than I'd hoped.
A great success for Nilfgaard, this mission.
Maybe you'll get that promotion.
Death mentions some bacteria strains.
Can you feel that?
My medallion's vibrating.
Another masking illusion. I'll try to disperse it. Later. Later, Elorn. Lisa Elorn. Later, dear!
靠北，我们摸完了。
The device. What is it?
You've done your job. You'll be paid and...
Paid like the scholars were? They died once they were no longer useful.
They were never useful, but Cynthia insisted. Fortunately, they were so kind as to remove themselves without my help.
I'm not about to be that kind.
Adelbert, you know what you're to look for.
Yes, Mom.
It's a prototype megascope. I didn't know it had survived.
What's it do?
The artifact detects an emotional bond with a person. Its user need only focus on that person and the device will establish a connection.
Great tool for a spy.
Yes.
Time you fulfilled your end of the bargain. What do you know about my past?
You were a rider of the Wild Hunt. I read the reports.
Don't the Nilfgaardians have anything better to do than write reports about witchers?
Not about witchers. About you. You are the sole person to have been a member of the host. And survived.
Anything else? Any detail you can give me would be useful.
Don't trust Letho.
You think I trust the people I hunt?
He's your foe today. But he wasn't always.
How do you know I knew Letho?
I've read...
The reports, I know. Why are you warning me about him?
Because I like you.
Is there anything to prove I was part of the Wild Hunt?
Nothing. Apart from the fact that Nilfgaardian intelligence agents are drawn and quartered for lying in their reports.
An enlightened nation indeed.
You haven't the faintest notion how many people are interested in you. Very important people.
Just because I survived?
You're a former rider of the hunt, and you live. You may be the key to solving the mystery of the retinue. And they all know that. You must watch out for yourself.
Let's say you've satisfied my curiosity.
Well then, consider me glad to have satisfied a witcher, whatever the way.
I'd like to try out the device.
You realize that can only end badly.
Cut in again and I'll put you in my report. You may use it, but just once.
Giving state secrets away to a Nordling. Will you mention that in your report?
You're sure to be named a commander one day, Adelbert. But until that happens, be a good boy and do your job.
Article 22 of the Code is clear. Suspicion of treason is sufficient grounds to strip a commander of power. Article 1 of my personal code is equally clear. Traitors must be subjected to the most painful death possible.
Multiplication. Second year at the academy, all mages learn it.
I didn't expect you to take my side.
Well, now choose one person you wish to contact. After that, the artifact's mine.
Nilfgaardian agents get quartered for lying in reports. What does the Empire do to agents who kill their colleagues?
Nothing. As long as no one finds out.
Will we meet again?
I wouldn't mind at all. Look for me at the inn.
Is there anything to prove I was part of the Wild Hunt?
Nothing. Apart.
An enlightened.
You haven't the faintest notion.
Just because I.
You're a former and they all.
How do you?
I've read
the report. Why are you...
Because I.
Let's say.
Well then.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't eavesdrop while I eavesdropped.
I shan't trouble you. I have a lot of work to do here.
Your fate is in your hands, sorceress.
My fate? You haven't asked a single question about me.
Yet it is all up to you. Your situation is a comfortable one. Do not squander your chance. So, wish to tell me anything?
I'm a sorceress, an advisor to the King of Temeria. Ah!
I believe we agreed you would speak only of things I do not know about.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the artifact a few more times.
Its power has been depleted.
I understand. Thanks anyway.
感觉比较有趣哦。现在打打什么？
Diana describes finding an important document about the Franz. Diana's notes about the city's history.
哇，500块，好爽啊！
Diana's notes from a mutation procedure manual.
好贴心的设计。
At your service. Ah.
谢谢你的。
Barbarian. Greetings. Renounce magic, I tell you.
We need to talk.
Of course.
These ruins must hold many secrets.
I'm certain of that. It was a beautiful city. A city full of talent and hope. But that ill ended with the coming of the Nordling armies.
Think the city would have survived if those armies had been Imperial?
Your king started the war with the Enshe. Nilfgaard's relations with the elves have always been peaceful.
They really did a job on your brain. You had me fooled back in Vergen. That sweet face of yours. Never suspected it could belong to someone who fanatically believes in conquering the North.
Mock me if you must. But I truly believe one huge empire is humanity's only hope. Many nations under one crown. With shared laws, advanced science, burgeoning industry and trade, and no wars, of course.
Sounds great. Let me know when it works out. I'd gladly spend my old age in a land like that. That was an interesting adventure, Cynthia.
Yes. People bond over experiences like that.
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder what happened back in Vergen. Did you get your promotion?
Not yet. But His Imperial Majesty rewards dedication.
Can he discern the truth from lies?
What do you mean?
I take it the Emperor has no idea his sorceress helped a mutant kill a Nilfgaardian mage.
It was a dangerous expedition. Casualties were inevitable. He'll content himself with that.
Got time to talk? Or are you off on another dangerous mission?
Even we Nilfgaardian agents rest sometimes.
You knew what we'd find in that laboratory.
Come again?
You wanted the bacteria strains that killed the Vrans, or more precisely, Derhenna's notes from his research into them.
This is very dangerous knowledge.
I suspect that's exactly why the Emperor is so interested.
The North is in chaos. An epidemic is the last thing you need. And one could break out if Derhenna's book fell into the wrong hands.
Fortunately, it's now in the right hands. In Emir's civilized and manicured hands.
Precisely.
I found some of Derhenna's notes. He studied the history of the Vrans, right?
Among other things.
He makes several mentions of an epidemic.
Loch Muin conceals many more secrets than we imagined. I doubt we'll ever know all of them.
Well, if Derhenna's to be trusted, the epidemic had something to do with the Enshe. Maybe the Vrans caught the disease from the elves.
I'm no expert on diseases, Witcher. Who knows? Perhaps Derhenna was right, and the decline of Vrani civilization was much darker and more sudden than we thought.
Used the artifact yet?
I'm working on improving it. I think it'll be useful one day.
I'm finding it hard to believe anything you say.
Did you come here to insult me?
No. Sorry.
What exactly do you want?
I was curious. Wanted to see which Cynthia I'd meet this time. The spy, the sorceress, or maybe a woman.
Which were you hoping to meet?
The real one.
Let's assume you're speaking to her. How'd you like her?
Let's say I like her quite a bit.
Compliments are clearly not your forte.
I just told you why I've come. Care to tell me why you invited me?
Let's say I was interested to see which Geralt would show up.
And? Minstrels got it right. Women of the South are both passionate and clever.
I like to improvise.
Yeah, I noticed. Farewell, Cynthia.
Verfail.
That was an
Yes.
Yeah. That was an interesting adventure, Cynthia.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder what happened, but...
我以为会被仙人跳，结果好像也没有。
It's a brazen attack. King Radovid will learn...
Greetings.
Wow. 我换这个银剑，该换了吧？哎，怎么换不上去？
This would never happen if the Conclave still existed.
And if Grandma had a
We must protest with all our...
Oh, shut up.
Where is Philippa? She should pull down his pants and give him a thrashing in front of all those knights.
Okay.
I'm afraid she's lost that option forever.
不会吧？我他妈就这样卡点了。
It's a brazen attack. King Radovid will learn of this.
Radovid sent them, you idiot!
An agent my calling.
The audacity!
Pull yourself together!
Greetings. No more. It's not too late to repent. Flog your lecherous bodies, but not one sorceress flogging another on sable fur, with the other moaning and for more.
Say goodbye to life!
神秘商人。小水道了。
Your Majesty.
I've waited long for this meeting. You left Redania so suddenly I had no chance to give you the send-off you so richly deserved.
Your Majesty, I fail to understand why I have been arrested. I've done nothing but serve Redania's interests, supporting the rebellion, undermining Henselt, risking my own reputation on your behalf.
I'm no longer the little boy who believed your every word.
Why do you do this, Radovid? I was there at your most trying hours. Without me, you would not be the man you are. I don't understand.
You understand very well. You conspired against my father Vizimir, and against me. The entire Redanian court once trembled in fear of Philippa Eilhart.
Untrue, sire. You must let me explain. What are your charges, Your Majesty?
Ambassador.
Triss Merigold was kind enough to compile a list of persons making up the secret society known as the Lodge of Sorceresses. Some Nilfgaardian sorceresses were members as well, but you need not be bothered with them, my lady.
Triss, you're mad!
The Lodge ordered Demaven killed. It ordered Foltest killed. I suspect you played a part in my father's death. And if I released you from the Dimeritium, you'd kill me too. You're finished, Eilhart. There will be a trial, due process, everything as it should be. But know that you shall not wriggle out of this. You shall be convicted of conspiracy, treason, and regicide. They'll rip your flesh from you in bits before they burn you at the stake. Throughout my childhood, I felt your cold stare on the back of my neck. When I issued orders, my subjects would search with their eyes for Philippa Eilhart's gesture of consent. The entire court at Tretogor looked on as you humiliated me. All Redania laughed behind my back. You taught me to look everyone in the eye. Forced them to lower their gaze, do you remember? A king must never show weakness, uncertainty, you said. I've mastered that skill. Yet there is one I could never force to submit. You. You've one chance to shorten your suffering. Admit to everything, here and now in the Ambassador's presence. Look me in the eye and repent. Submit. As you wish. Torturer. Put out those vile eyes.
You're making a grave error, sire.
干，真的哇！他汤匙好干净，差点摸啊！
We will talk again, witch.
The Philippa Eilhart problem has been resolved. We must return to camp.
Wait here, Excellency. We'll scout ahead.
Long live the Emperor!
哇，它有喷血效果，很爽。我要杀进去。 守住了。我只能杀进去了。
easy to find.
Look what they did to me. Radovid. To think I taught him magic tricks when he was just a boy. Free me, Geralt. I have to get out of here. Do you hear me? Help me!
You'll answer a few questions first. Was Schiller telling the truth about the Lodge, the assassinations?
He said exactly what Radovid wanted to hear. Half-truths, musings stripped of context, which differ very little from lies.
Did Triss take part in all this?
She's clean in those terms. Innocent as a child, but only to a point. I assure you, she has not been honest with you about many other matters.
Why did all this happen? Murdering monarchs, what interests did it serve? I can't fathom.
Help me get out of here and I'll explain all and lift the spell from Saskia. Take these shackles off me and lead me to my house. I beg you. I'll tell you everything. Everything.
I didn't track you alone. Yorvith can't wait to see you again.
My death would change little. Yorvith and all like him have no right to judge others.
How does the spell work?
Saskia's will and mine are one. She cannot resist me. But fear not. There's no suffering involved. She merely believes me to be the most wonderful person in the world. As if she were in love. You know what's most beautiful? In spite of all this, she seems unchanged. She's retained her charm, her valor, her honor.
Where's Saskia?
When I was arrested, she was with Sheila. They must be on their way to the deliberations by now.
Clock's ticking. Time is of the essence.
Why do you do this? Would you take vengeance on a blind woman?
Shillard said they've got Triss. I have to free her before they put out her eyes, too.
Going to the Nilfgaardian camp is suicide.
And leaving a friend is villainy.
Only I know how to break the spell that holds Saskia. Get me out of here. If I die, she'll remain forever spellbound.
Saskia will remain an enslaved monster through your wickedness. You deserve to die.
Even if you reach Triss, you will not free her.
Sure I will. I'll trade Shillard for her.
And what will Yorvith say when he learns you abandoned Saskia?
You worry about what he'll do to you. I doubt he'll see your blindness as sufficient punishment.
Do you think Marigold's innocent?
You have no right to judge her. Goodbye, Eilhart. Move your ass, Excellency.
This is preposterous. What do you aim to achieve?
I want to see Triss. How did you get in here?
Put that sword down.
Only after I cut your throat. The choice is yours.
I know of a tunnel.
Then you can be my guide.
It's the tunnel to the left.
You make an exceptional guide. Go. One false move and your ambassador will never see Nilfgaard's son again.
My men won't let you leave here alive.
They will if you ask them to, Excellency, and I believe you will.
Reynold Eb Madsen's orders come from the Emperor himself. He'd rather die than give you Marigold.
Then he'll die.
No, mark my words. You will. Unless you release me, it's not too late.
You're boring me. Pick up the pace.
Why do you care for that sorceress so much?
Go.
Are you in love with her? A poor choice, even for you.
That cuts no ice with me. Out of the way, all of you, or the old man dies.
Hold there!
I'm not joking.
I know. And I advise you not to hesitate. Kill him. For we shan't move one bit.
Renwald!
He who brings me the Witcher's head will get the Order of Merit.
But Ambassador Fitz-Estelen...
Your Excellency. Orders from the capital.
Now I'll have to kill you all.
What are you waiting for? Get him!
Long live the Emperor!
Die, Northling!
靠北，我不能杀，所以我怎么杀他们？
Did you really think you could just prance in here? Make the Emperor proud! Kill him!
你说开起来。
The Imperial Army's ranks are endless!
下来是无敌。下来。
Stop this.
Taste our steel!
Long live the Emperor!
死吧！
Congratulations, Witcher. They were my best men.
You should have picked them more carefully, or trained them better.
Or perhaps they were ready for any foe but you.
Free Triss, or join them.
You amaze me. How can you risk your life for a witch?
She has information that's very important to me.
Ah, that I understand. You're exceptionally reasonable for a Nordling.
Thanks. It means a lot to hear you say that.
It should, because I in turn have information about her, which you may find interesting.
What are you talking about?
Your friend and the other witches conspired against your rulers.
How do you know that?
From the best possible source. She confessed.
And how did you convince her to do that?
By showing her the confessions of other lodge members.
I don't believe you.
That's irrelevant at this point. During our chat, my people managed to regroup, call for reinforcements.
Maybe now they'll start fighting like men.
Time to show you the Empire's true power. Surround him! Shield bearers, forward! Emperor, I feel my leg!
靠北啊！哇，这个很厉害啊！